Alright, hi everybody. Bonkai922 here. Hunter. Whoa. This episode 114, gonna be afterthoughts on this. This was pretty crazy. Like, I noticed that the only real fights that really happened in this episode were we have the continuation of Youpi against Shoots. And let me just tell you right now, that fight was beyond ridiculous. That fight was beyond ridiculous. I just couldn't believe it. And not just because it was Shoots fighting Youpi. Knuckles, man, he was over on the side just waiting and waiting and waiting, and it was killing him. Absolutely killing him. You could cut, literally cut the tension with a knife. It was unbelievable. We had that. Then we had, at the same time, you had the, Million. He's on, the God accomplice thing. You have Shoots fighting Youpi, and he's getting shredded here and there by Youpi, but still, standing a good chance against him. We had that happen in this episode. We also had the thing with Moral and Pouf. Now, Pouf, it seems what he was doing was weird, I found, in this episode, because Pouf was basically, he had his butterfly wings, and he was spreading his scales. Now, it wasn't anything, he wasn't doing anything that would threaten Moral's life, though. What he was doing was he was basically reading his mind, like the emotions that were going through him. He says, oh, he's not, he's cautious. He's not that very cautious, but is very confident. And he's basically finding this out through the particles, the scales, as he spread them around within that smoke area. And, he's talking to who's he talking to? I forgot who he's talking to. Yeah, he's talking to Moral. And he's basically telling Moral, it's a little chit-chat, nothing too crazy. And he's basically telling Moral that I'm gonna, wait. That's the inception. He's not in any rush. And Moral is thinking to himself, yeah. Because he's like saying to himself, Moral, that no matter what kind of, because what happens is, and this got me kind of confused. I'm like, Pouf basically encased himself in this cocoon. And I'm like, wait a minute. He's a butterfly. that was so like crazy. He basically used his butterfly wings and he covered himself in wrappings, which was a cocoon. And basically, Marl's just saying to himself, oh, no matter what comes out of there, I'll be able to handle it. No what beast comes out of there. Then, of course, we had Zeno, Killua'S grandfather, and Netero, and Miriam. And we had Killua with Gon. This scene was very interesting because it did not occur to me that Zeno was going to stand back. That didn't occur to me. Basically, essentially, in this episode, all Zeno does, and you hear the narrator talking about it, he's like, even Miriam knew that he wasn't going to attack him, because there's this scene where he's concentrating his nen, but it's neutral. It's not anything that is too, aggressive. It's neutral nen, and he basically bursts out this energy and creates this dragon. And I'm like, okay. And then Miriam grabs the dragon, and Netero goes on the dragon, and they leave. And I'm like, so Zeno is staying behind? Wow. I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. I thought that, Zeno was going to be helping Netero a little more than what he had been doing. But apparently this is going to be a one-on-one fight. It's not going to be like Zeno's going to help Netero continuously. No. He just helped him when they first got there to the palace, and helping him go with Miriam to an area where they're going to fight. Then we had the other scene with Gon and Killua. Killua, man, there was slight hesitation there, and it really just goes to show you the situation that is transpiring here. Hesitation to go ahead and help Gon because he's afraid something bad's going to happen to Gon. So that really blew my mind as well. Other than that, there's really nothing else to talk about this episode. Only really thing you need to talk about that really is just holy shit was the whole thing with the fight between Shoots and Youpi, Moral, and Pouf. Those were the two fights that really was going down. Miriam and Netero, that's going to happen down the road now. We've gone to that point. They're going off to an area where they're going to fight. And we're obviously starting from, I think, probably the ending of next week's episode onward, it'll be Gon fighting Pito with Killua. But I will say this. The whole thing that I was more interested about this episode was the fight with Youpi and Knuckles. Knuckles was like, he was in an area of this unbridled suffering of waiting and waiting and waiting, and he couldn't take it anymore, and he had to do something, and eventually he does. In fact, there's one point where Merlion, the chameleon, he has to take another breath, was at his limit. So everyone was at their limits here in that fight. Shoots got to his limit. Knuckles was at his limit, and Merlion was at his limit. Everyone in that fight were at their limits, except, I guess, you could say Youpi. And basically, at that point, the invisibility of God's accomplice is broken, and Shoots reveals himself, and I was like, wow. Unbelievable. I will say this, the one scene in this episode that had me like, whoa, was when Youpi changed. He was like, he realized certain things, because, Knuckles had to break out of the God's accomplice, and his thing was revealed. And at that moment, he noticed this thing in the air, and when he did this move where he just tucked in his arms, and all you saw, you wouldn't really see good enough. All you saw were like these little dots, like a million dots on his back, Youpi, and he just launches these skewers from his back, and it almost caught Shoots. But then Shoots brings out his fists and just accelerates him away from it. And I was like, wow. Just all that motion, all that movement in that one fell swoop was just unbelievable. And then we obviously, Knuckles can't take enough anymore. He reveals himself, and he's now gonna fight Youpi. I wonder about Moral's fight from this episode. That's probably one thing I'm gonna laugh. That's the things that I'm wondering about. That one thing. What is Pouf gonna look like? Now, I'm gonna hopefully people don't review the manga. Don't tell me. But I'm really interested in seeing that. If there's one, that's the fight I'm really interested in seeing. The conclusion to. Besides Gon against Pitof, and Pito, and Miriam and Netero. Because, I mean, the Youpi thing, I could see, okay, I could see how that's going to conclude. And there was also another thing that happened with Mr. Octopus Man. It was going to, but that wasn't really much. But that's more interesting to me because I'm like, Pouf is a butterfly, so what the hell is he going to turn into now? Like, what are you going to turn into? Seriously, it must be some kind of crazy thing. But I'm definitely, listen, this is the height. We are nearly at a climactic finish here, almost. We still have these two fights, Miriam and Netero, and Gon against Pito with Killua. So those two are going to be just like magnificent. I haven't been spoiled too much with. I've only been spoiled with one of them. I know only one thing, and that is the thing with Gon against Pito. I know something happens there, but I don't know specifically. The thing with Netero and Miriam, I have no idea how that goes down. I am totally in the dark about that. And the same thing with Moral and Youpi. Moral's fighting and Knuckles against Youpi. So it's up in the air. Pretty much. But yeah, good episode, people, of Hunter x Hunter. 114 should be fucking awesome as we go down the road. After this, I'm going to be doing Bleach. And I've noticed a few things in the J room. Certain individuals are arguing about what happened in the Bleach chapter. So I'm going to give my 411 on the Bleach chapter that came out. I'm going to do the review. I'll upload it with this. And I'll make sure when it's fully uploaded, the Bleach review, I'll put it in the J room. So people can understand what my point of view on this whole situation is. But yeah, that's pretty much the story. Bankai 922, I'm really hyped for these fights. Gon, oh my god. I can only imagine the heightened amount of just sheer violence that is going to be demonstrated, not only in the fight between Miriam and Netero, but this fight with Gon. I can only imagine how beautifully animated this is going to be. And listen, I'm going to say it right now. They need to continue it. I'm sorry. I would be very upset. Very, very upset if they stop doing this. Like they do the Chimera Antark and then... No, I don't want that. I want more. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I want more. I want them to continue animating Hunter x Hunter. I want them to continue the arcs. I want to go through. So I want Togashi to get on his ass. Come on. Get on your ass and go bring out some chapters. Really. I mean, it's ridiculous now. Come on. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Bankai 922. See you guys later. Also, tomorrow I think I'll do the One Piece review, and I will do some uploading of Times of Darkness. And it'll probably be a Times of Darkness live stream on Thursday night. So yeah, that as well. I'm Bankai 922. I will see you guys later. Peace.